What's up, everybody? It's Gino coming at you to break down UFC 281. Before we get going, if you haven't done this, hit my channel with a subscribe. Still seeing a lot of returning viewers who are not subscribers. Go ahead and hit that subscribe to help me out. Also, like the video. Leave me a comment of your favorite fighter. If not, just leave me a letter to help the algorithm. Okay, so let's get right into it. We have Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. I am going Izzy. I like Izzy a lot. I think he gets a decision here. I think it's a 5-round fight, 8,600, 7,600. This is a fight you go all in on. Make sure you're elevated on both guys. Now, the plus 300 KO TKO, I do like the idea of Izzy finishing him, but I do think he just drags him through deeper waters and wins the plus 110 decision. But I'm going to be all in on the fight. Both guys are going to be elevated. My lean is to Izzy. Carla Esparza versus Wiley Zhang. I'm going Wiley Zhang. The only reason why I'm even going to play Esparza a little bit is because it is a 5-round fight, and I don't want to completely fade a $6,800 fighter in a 5-round fight. But I don't see her winning. I think Zhang dominates, pillar to post. She's worth some ownership. I'll see where she's at because her or Blanchfield are going to be leverage players for me. I can guarantee you that. But I am going to be at least at the field on her. Now, I'll tell you this. This is one of my favorites from a fan perspective. I want to see Chandler versus Poirier. I think Chandler actually gets the knockout. I'm going to say Chandler gets knockout round 1 plus 900. I'm going to play that as a prop. But I do think that this will be a great fight regardless, and I think it will score well. I'm heavy on the fight. I'm got my finger on the all-in button for this one, too. Just going all in on this fight and the main event and just calling it a day. Okay, so we have Gutierrez versus Frankie Edgar. I like Frankie Edgar. I think he's one of my favorite dogs on the card. He's plus 330 to get a decision. I think that's what he does here. You look at Gutierrez on the other side, he's $9,100. He's relatively low volume. He's plus 200 to get a KO, TKO, but even then he's still only scoring 75 to 90 fantasy points. Not really making him a guy that I'm overly crazy about. This weekend, we have Puellas versus Dan Hooker. I'm going Dan Hooker. He's one of my favorites. That's a favorite. He did lose to Kamaru to Makachev. He did lose to Allen, but, I mean, they're good fighters. He's fighting a Puellas who hasn't fought as good of fighters and has, dropped a couple fights over his career, but I think that this will be a huge test and a huge step up for him. And I think with that being said, I think Hooker gets it done. And I think he gets it done KO, TKO. Riddell versus Moicano. I am actually going Riddell, but that plus 240 submission for Moicano is definitely pretty appealing too. But ownership-wise, I'm going heavier on Riddell. I do like Riddell. Okay, Ryan Spann versus Dominic Reyes. I'm just going Reyes or pass, but I'm going to be light on Reyes. He's 9,300. He doesn't score that well typically. He is in a smash spot here. He has tons of finishes, but he doesn't score much over 100, so that's my thing. Like, it's not just about getting finishes. You still have to have some volume in most cases, unless you're hitting the early finish. But the under 1.5 is minus 115, which makes me think let's not completely fade him because he could get the early finish bonus. Leverage play of the night. Blanchfield, over 60%. I'm not playing McCain at all. If I locked people in MMA, Blanchfield would be a lock, but I'm not. And I don't recommend doing that. But I'm just saying, Blanchfield's my favorite fighter on the card. I think she's going to accumulate a ton of volume. I think she's going to be under-owned, and I think she's going to be a key piece in winning some money tomorrow night. Wellington Turman versus Andre Petroski. I'm going Petroski. I think he gets it done submission plus 300, but the under 1.5 is plus 115. The fact it's set at 1.5 makes me like both fighters, or not both fighters, makes me like Petroski because I don't see Turman winning knocking out Petroski. He went to split decision versus Alvey. He's going to get killed by Petroski. That's it. Okay, Azatar versus Frivola. I am actually going to go Azatar, but I'm loading up on the fight, both sides of it. I think that either guy is going to score well for his price, 8,500, 7,700. Fight I like a lot because neither fighter is that amazing. I will say Azatar has shown promise, but he's just been off for 2 years. So with that being said, I mean, I think he'll probably beat Frivola here, but we'll see. He could get a finish too. Unders 1.5, so that's one that I think is worth a second look. Koltzakewicz versus Gomez Juarez. I'm going Gomez Juarez. I'm going to be invested in both, but more towards the dog. I think that this is another fight that's well priced. I think these female fights, people get off them. I think that this will be where the money's made. You have Gomez Juarez, who is plus 275 KO TKO, and then you have Koltzakewicz, who is plus 215 decision. Little to no takedown upside for Koltzakewicz. Then you have a lower volume Gomez. This isn't going to be something I'm crazy about, but it'll be a fight I have a little bit of. But I'm going to play Gomez in that. Trezano versus Wu Choi. I am going Choi, and it's going to be Choi or pass. I don't really like Trezano's ceiling. He lacks volume. I think that this is just an ugly decision if he somehow wins, but he's not going to beat Choi. I think Choi rolls right on past him. He had that TKO win versus Rosa. I think he just keeps it rolling here. Montel Jackson versus Julio Ars. I am going Montel Jackson. I'm going to have both of them in my 150 because Ars could hit the optimal if he can get an upset, but I think Montel just kills him. But I'll make sure I'm at least at the field on Ars, and I'm going to be elevated on Montel. Olberg versus Negumereanu. I am going to go underweight on Olberg. Okay, I'm picking Olberg to win, but I'm going to go underweight on him. I will have field weight of Negumereanu or possibly 10% above because of the ceilings. Again, it's about ceilings. It's not about picking the winners. It's about, picking those scores. So that's kind of where I'm at there. But I do think Olberg wins, but I just don't think this fight scores well anyways. But if it does, it'll be Negumereanu. Guys, hit me up on Twitter, in the DFS Army Discord. If you're not a member, join for 10% off. On the coupon code, 10% off DFL Gino. If you have any questions, just hit me up, and I will talk to y'all soon.